Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another malicious compliance Reddit video. In our first story, so you think you can feed a family on $150 per month? Let's jump right in. Several years ago, my ex-husband, our son, and I, who was pregnant at the time, lived in a fairly well-off town. We weren't rich or even middle class at the time, more like upper low class, living in a low-class apartment. My ex thought he was good with money, but he really isn't. He has ideas because his dad is an accountant, but he has no actual practical knowledge. I knew we were on a budget and for the most part agreed to keeping down the cost of most of the expenses. The only exception in my eyes was the food budget. I would try to spend $600 per month on food for the 3.5 of us, and this was still what I considered on the low end. For example, friends of ours, just a couple with no dependents, would spend about $800 to $900 on groceries, while my ex-in-laws would spend $1,200 to $1,500 on groceries for 3 to 4 people. We had a young child and a baby on the way. Cutting food out wasn't an option. Kid is hungry, kid needs to eat. As a pregnant woman, I did eat for my child and I, but I didn't splurge on treats for my cravings. I knew we had bills to pay and that my financially anal ex-husband would be upset if I ate away our food budget due to a craving. My ex-husband would frequently complain over several years how we spend too much money on groceries. He mentioned a couple times per month that $600 per month was too much. We needed to reduce our food budget to $150 per month. I tried to show him grocery receipts. I tried showing him flyers and online ads. He still maintained that we could survive off $150 in groceries each month. He was adamant. He was sure. He was positive that I was just making things difficult. I wasn't the only one to tell him that he was wrong. As I stated, I was pregnant, which means hormonal. I'd had enough. So here's where the malicious compliance comes in. Okay, I've had enough of this. Tomorrow is the start of a new month. I haven't gone grocery shopping in a week. Give me $150 in cash and I will feed us for the month. Really? Okay, I'll bring home the cash tomorrow. I spent the rest of the evening searching for every single coupon I could find. Fun fact, Americans have this system where if you spend a coupon at certain grocery stores, you could buy an item for 10 cents to 50 cents. However, we don't live in the US. Our coupons pale in comparison. I searched for all the deals. I wrote down a list of items we needed, what store had them for what price, and noted if I had a coupon or not. For your information, I generally did something similar to this anyway, but I just expanded my search to a couple extra stores. The following day, when I was given $150 from my ex, I waddled my pregnant butt around 4 different grocery stores, grabbing all the food we normally eat. When I got home, I had spent approximately $145 of our oh-so-generous food budget on the first day of the month. I was proud of myself, sarcasm. I had budgeted so well. I showed my ex-husband all the food I bought and all the receipts. I placed the change in a jar on top of the fridge with the receipts inside. He said I did well and was happy I bought so much for so little. Later on that week, we ran out of milk. Kid has no milk to drink or for his cereal. Out to the store to buy some. A week and a half later, it's getting close to dinner time. What's for dinner? Nothing. What do you mean nothing? We have plenty of food. Oh, do we? I didn't realize. What did you find in the cupboards? The ex opens cupboard doors. Fridge, freezer, pantry door. Nothing. There is literally nothing. Okay, so we have no food in the house. How much money do we have from our food budget? My ex empties the jar to find 34 cents. That can't be right. Did you add up the receipts and see if we made a mistake somewhere? Okay, I get it. I'll go buy some groceries. And that, my friends, is how you convince your financially anal ex-spouse that their budgeting ideas are out of touch with reality. Sadly, I did not convince him to increase our food budget back to $600 per month, but he did agree to $500 per month, which I suppose he keeps to this day, despite the fact that now it's usually just himself he has to feed. Story number 2. Work starts at 9, not 9:15. Many years ago, I used to work as a web developer at a medical center where the types of people in that organization were, let's say, tenured. Many comfortable people who have been working there for 8+ years. Not the least of all was our manager, who had been there for 20+ years and fancied herself a dictator. I was the youngest there, followed by the other developer. Engineering was a team of 2, myself included. We had content creators, support people, designers, etc. But the engineering was just me and this other person. We'll call her Lucy. Lucy and I would show up around the same time every day between 9 and 9:30. No big deal, we thought, since we typically ate quick lunches at our desk and stayed long after 5 to actually get some focus time in and get stuff done. Our manager typically showed up early around 7:30 or 8 and would leave the office at 3:30 or 4 to skip traffic. Now, at some point, our manager was on some sort of power trip and decided it was necessary to call a full team meeting to inform us that work starts at 9, not 9:15, not 9:30, but 9. Me, being a young smartass, decided to fight this tyranny and asked her, "What time does work end?" To which she very calmly stated 5. So I asked how come she leaves at 4, and she explained that she shows up early and therefore gets to leave early. I was on autopilot because the next thing I said was, "But I thought work starts at 9, so how come you show up early?" She explained that she's made a special arrangement with the higher-ups and therefore she is exempt from the rule. So Lucy and I dropped it, but we decided to show up exactly at 9 every day, take a full hour for lunch, and leave exactly at 5. Meetings all day and work due tomorrow? Sorry, but work ends at 5. Working on an issue where stopping halfway means it would take longer to pick up tomorrow? Sorry, but work ends at 5. About a month of this and our backlog is piling up. Our clients are complaining and my manager is fuming at our reduced output. She sits us down and asks us why this is happening. We calmly explain that with meetings, an hour lunch, and work starting at 9 and ending at 5, there's just not enough time in the day to get stuff done. She dropped the policy the next day and instead issued a core hours policy of 10 to 3, where everyone is expected to be in the office then. Story number 3. If only they'd double-checked the spelling. I worked for a while at a fast food restaurant in a major city. One of my coworkers had the same last name as me. It's a relatively common Irish name. Our families spelled it differently. Shane, my coworker, sold weed in addition to doing deliveries for the restaurant. Shane was a really nice, chill guy, and was always the first to jump in and give someone a hand even if it wasn't his job, so everyone liked him. I'm working the register one day when 2 police detectives come in. They literally flipped their coats open to show me their badges, which I thought was a thing that only happened in movies. Does anyone named Sean Connors work here? Edit to clarify, Shane is pronounced Shane, Sean is pronounced Sean. I know they have to be looking for Shane, but he's a nice guy, so my last name is Connors. We're actually looking for a Sean Connors. I smile politely and there's a long pause. Do you know anyone named Sean Connors? Yeah, I have a cousin named Sean. The detectives are both suddenly more interested. And when did you see him last? About a week ago. He doesn't work here? No. We were told he works here. Does he work at a different restaurant? I'm looking out the window as my coworker Shane rides away on his bike to make a delivery. No, I mean, I could check with my aunt, but I don't think so. He's still in school. And where does he go to school? I name my cousin's middle school. The detectives stare at me and I stare back at the detectives. Does anyone named Sean Connors work here? No. The detectives then give me their business card for me to give to my manager, and the detectives leave. At that point, I text Shane, hey, I think a couple of cops were here looking for you. Now, I was 20 at the time and definitely too much of a wimp to lie to the police, but I never had to. Everything I told them was 100% true. I do have a cousin named Sean Connors, and no one named Sean Connors worked at that restaurant. This is John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe and make sure you click on the notifications bell. We would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.